Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says mantra of One Earth, One Family, One Future will lead to global welfare, unveils logo, theme and website of India's G20 presidency. India and Russia on track to achieve $30 billion annual trade, says External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar. Centre grants 265 postgraduate medical seats in government hospitals in Jammu and Kashmir. Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav says current global climate mitigation efforts inadequate in containing climate change. Guru Nanak Jayanti celebrated across the country and abroad. And in the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup semi-finals, New Zealand to take on Pakistan in Sydney tomorrow, India to clash with England on Thursday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today unveiled the logo, theme and website of India's G20 presidency through video conferencing. India will assume G20 presidency from the 1st of December. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Modi said the G20 logo is a representation of hope for a world emerging from the pandemic, conflict and economic uncertainty.
In the G20 logo, the earth is placed on lotus too. The 7 petals of the lotus in the logo are also significant. They represent the 7 continents. 7 is also the number of notes in the universal language of music. In music, when the 7 notes come together, they create perfect harmony. Similarly, G20 aims to bring the world together in harmony while respecting diversity.
The Prime Minister said the mantra of One Earth, One Family, One Future in G20 will pave a path for global welfare.
भारत पूरे विश्व को एक बेहतर भविष्य के लिए साथ लाने के विजन पर काम कर रहा है। भारत ने वन सन, वन वर्ल्ड, वन ग्रिड के मंत्र के साथ विश्व में रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी रिवॉल्यूशन का आह्वान किया है। भारत ने वन अर्थ, वन हेल्थ इस मंत्र के साथ ग्लोबल हेल्थ को मजबूत करने का अभियान चलाया है। और अब G20 में भी हमारा मंत्र है वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर। भारत के यही विचार, यही संस्कार विश्व कल्याण का मार्ग प्रशस्त करते हैं।
Observing that G20 will not be limited to Delhi and that programs will be held in every corner of the country, Prime Minister Modi appealed for wider participation of state governments and all political parties in the events. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said that India and Russia are on track to achieve a target of $30 billion annual trade. He was speaking at the India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Trade, Economic, Scientific, Technical and Cultural Cooperation in Moscow today. Dr. Jaishankar said the cooperation between the two countries continues to make steady progress. He said while economic cooperation between India and Russia is moving towards long-term stability, it needs to be balanced to be sustainable. External Affairs Minister stated that as the third largest consumer of oil and gas, India needs affordable sources.
There is a stress on the energy markets. This is a stress which has been created by a combination of factors. But as today the world's third largest consumer of oil and gas, a consumer where the levels of income are not very high, it is our fundamental obligation to ensure that the Indian consumer has the best possible access on the most advantageous terms to international markets. And in that respect, quite honestly, we have seen that India-Russia relationship has worked to advantage. So if it works to my advantage, I would like to keep that going.
Dr. Jaishankar and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov discussed the strengthening of the partnership and exploring cooperation in trade, investments, energy, fertilizers, pharma, agriculture and shipping. Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupendra Yadav has said that the current global pace of climate mitigation is not enough to contain climate change. He said there is an urgent need for the world to acknowledge cascading natural hazards that cause substantial losses around the world. Mr. Yadav was speaking at the launch of the early warnings for all Executive Action Plan at COP27 being held in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. The minister said with climate finance being scarce, climate adaptation in the form of early warning dissemination is key to safeguarding lives and livelihoods. Speaking at a separate event, the minister said that India's extensive experience in mangrove restoration will contribute to the global knowledge base. At the launch event of the Mangrove Alliance for Climate on the sidelines of the COP27, Mr. Yadav said Mangrove Alliance for Climate initiative will bring the world together to advance the global cause of mangroves. With just 2 days left, campaigning for the Himachal Pradesh Assembly elections has intensified. Campaigning will end on the 10th of this month at 5 p.m. In the state, the contest is mainly between two major political parties, BJP and Congress. Our correspondent reports the star campaigners of both the parties are addressing public meetings at various places. A report from our correspondent.
Former Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, welcoming the court decision of 10% reservation on economic basis, said that BJP is moving ahead with the idea of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. He said that double-engine government of central and state will form the government again in the state on the basis of its work. On the other hand, Congress Party's National General Secretary and MP Randeep Singh Surjewala held a press conference in Shimla today and alleged that the rising inflation in the country is the result of BJP's policy. Sanjeev Sundaryal, AIR News, Shimla.
In Gujarat, senior Congress MLA Mohan Rathwa resigned from the party and joined the BJP today. Our correspondent reports that Mr. Rathwa, a senior tribal leader, is a 10-time MLA and represented the Chota Udaipur constituency of central Gujarat in the last assembly. Meanwhile, Aam Aadmi Party released its 12th list of 7 candidates for the assembly elections today. With this, the total number of candidates announced by AAP has gone up to 137. The Election Commission has released the schedule for the by-election in the Khatoli Assembly constituency at Muzaffarnagar district of Uttar Pradesh. The by-elections for the Rampur Assembly and Manpuri Parliamentary constituency will also be held concurrently on the 5th of December. Counting of votes will take place on the 8th of December. The Khatoli seat fell vacant following the disqualification of MLA Vikram Singh Saini after his conviction in the 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots case. President Draupadi Murmu will administer the oath of office to the new Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, at the Rashtrapati Bhavan tomorrow. He will succeed Justice Uday Umesh Lalit, who is retiring today. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud will be the 50th Chief Justice of India. Born in 1959, Justice Chandrachud was appointed Judge of the Supreme Court of India on the 13th of May 2016. Earlier, he served as Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court. He had completed his LLB from the Campus Law Center from Delhi University and obtained an LLM degree and a doctorate in Judicial Sciences from Harvard Law School in the USA. The Kerala High Court today directed Governor Arif Muhammad Khan in his capacity as the Chancellor of the universities in the state not to issue final orders until the writ petitions filed by the Vice Chancellors are disposed of. Justice Devan Ramachandran issued the interim order while considering the petitions filed by the 10 Vice-Chancellors, challenging the show-cause notice issued to them by the Governor. The Governor sought 3 more days to file the counter plea. The case is listed for hearing on Thursday next week. The World Travel Market, one of the largest international travel exhibitions, has begun in London. The Minister of Tourism is participating in this 3-day event, which will conclude tomorrow. India's participation is significant as tourist inflow recovers to pre-pandemic levels. The theme of this year's exhibition is "The Future of Travel Starts Now." This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The Union Government has granted 265 diplomate of the National Board postgraduate medical seats to several government hospitals in Jammu and Kashmir across 20 districts. This was achieved with the combined effort of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and the National Board of Examinations in Medical Sciences. The ministry said that at present there exists more than 250 post-graduation seats across 20 districts in Phase 1 of the expansion plan. It said more PG seats will be granted in the second phase. 50% of the PG seats are reserved for local in-service doctors to provide them with the opportunity for postgraduate training. The ministry stressed that the step will benefit the people of Jammu and Kashmir and its doctors will get an opportunity to train in their own region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the decision as an important effort to empower the youth and further medical infrastructure in Jammu and Kashmir. In Ladakh, infrastructure development is gaining momentum. Solid testing for a tunnel on one of the world's highest motorable roads, Khardungla, has begun. Here's a Leh correspondent with a report.
Khardungla Tunnel is one of the 10 tunnels running up to 100 kilometers that Centre has planned in UTs of Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir. The proposed tunnel beneath Khardungla Pass will connect Leh and the Nubra Valley. Construction of tunnel at Khardungla will facilitate all-weather connectivity for smooth movement of military and civilian vehicles across key mountain passes to forward locations including the world's highest battlefield, Siachen. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
The 3-day Kashmir Expo Startup for Livelihood is being organized in Srinagar from tomorrow. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh will inaugurate the event. Around 55 startups from across the country are participating in the exhibition. Young innovators will display their products, technology and services at the event. The exhibition is part of the Centre's efforts to create employment opportunities in the rural areas of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla will inaugurate the annual convention of the Central Information Commission in New Delhi tomorrow. The title of this year's convention is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Citizen-Centric Governance through RTI. The convention will discuss critical issues related to transparency, governance, right to information and other related issues. In the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, New Zealand will take on Pakistan in the first semi-final in Sydney tomorrow. In the second semi-final, India will lock horns with England at Adelaide on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. IST. The semi-final winners will face in the annual clash on Sunday in Melbourne. Guru Nanak Jayanti or Guru Parab is being celebrated across the country and abroad today. It marks the birth of the founder of Sikhism, its first Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. This year is the 553rd birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. President Draupadi Murmu today paid homage to Guru Nanak Dev Ji on Guru Parab at the President's estate. She also participated in the Langar or community lunch with devotees. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a tweet said that may Guru Nanak Dev Ji's noble teachings continue to guide us in an endeavour of building a just and compassionate society. The Union Government has facilitated Indian Sikh pilgrims to visit Nankana Sahib on the occasion of Guru Parab. According to the Home Ministry, over 400 pilgrims from India visited Sri Kartarpur Sahib Gurdwara in Pakistan through the integrated checkpost in Amritsar today to offer prayers. A total lunar eclipse took place today. People in Asia, Australia, North America, parts of Northern and Eastern Europe, most of South America, the North Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean witnessed the total lunar eclipse. In Uttarakhand, lakhs of devotees from various parts of the country took a holy dip in the river Ganga at Haridwar on the occasion of Kartik Purnima and the lunar eclipse. In Manipur, the state government is gearing up for the forthcoming Manipur Sangai Festival 2022. The festival was not for the last 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh launched the Manipur Sangai Festival 2022 official theme song titled Manipur today at Imphal. The main venue for the festival will be the Sangai Ethnic Park in Moirang, Kuno. The Sangai is a state animal of Manipur. The 15th Asian Airgun Championship 2022 will begin tomorrow at Daegu in South Korea. Manu Bhakar, Mehuli Ghosh, Arjun Babuta and Devyanshing Pawar are among some prominent names in the 36-strong Indian contingent set to take part in the championship. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says mantra of One Earth, One Family, One Future will lead to global welfare, unveils logo, theme and website of India's G20 presidency. India and Russia on track to achieve $30 billion annual trade, says External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar. Centre grants 265 postgraduate medical seats in government hospitals in Jammu and Kashmir. Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav says current global climate mitigation efforts inadequate in containing climate change. Guru Nanak Jayanti is celebrated across the country and abroad. And in the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup semi-finals, New Zealand take on Pakistan in Sydney tomorrow, India to clash with England on Thursday. And that is all in the news at 9. Good night.